Hey everybody, welcome to the replay. Thank you so much for joining. I figured it was time that we finished our, hey Evie, I'm just doing a quick Periscope. Figured it was time that we finished our three-part series on inviting. Hi lady, hi Rebecca, how are you? Hello everybody, how are you guys doing today? Happy Friday. It's so funny because working from home and homeschooling, like the days are all kind of the same, but Fridays are still special because, oh, my husband comes home and then he'll be home for 2 days, which is great. Hey there, hey West Virginia. Hey guys. So how many of you were on the first two scopes that we did about how to invite and fill an event? If you were on, let me know, because this is going to be the very last part of those scopes. Heidi was on, Andrea was on. Awesome. Were they helpful for you guys? Kirby, if you missed it, it's okay. Melissa, you took 3 pages of notes. That's awesome. That's so great. Okay, so you guys who were on the scopes, you know that was hopefully really helpful information. So this is part 3, how to avoid, once you fill your class, how do you avoid people canceling at the last minute? You can come sit over here, sure. So if you think that would be helpful for anybody based on how helpful the first 2 were, please share this with people before we get going. You can share by swiping left to right. This is Evie.
Hello.
We finished homeschooling today, so he's reading and I've got, don't let me forget the broccoli. I got broccoli cooking. So thank you. My storage shelf is actually a gift from my husband for Christmas. Sexiest Christmas gift ever, right? So if you need to catch up, what you want to do is go to catch.me, catch with a K, and then /ChristyCall23. All of my scopes are stored there. You want to watch part 1 and part 2 of inviting. I took you through the steps that I use to fill my classes. So, and if you're going to share, please share now. Share the scope so we can get people on here live so they can ask questions about this part about last minute cancellations. How many of you guys get plagued by last minute cancellations? Tap the screen for hearts if you've ever had people say, oh, I'm definitely coming, and you think they're coming, and then you show up that night for your class and you have lost people. They just don't come.
Can you repeat that address?
Yes, I will repeat that address. So to find the other 2 parts of the invitation scope series, go to catch, KATCH.me /ChristyCall23. It's the same as my Periscope handle, ChristyCall23. So, oh yeah, I could scope in landscape. Yeah, that's a whole new thing. I haven't tried that yet. I'll try that next time, guys. I don't know if I can turn the phone now. What will happen? Here, you guys can tell me. No, you guys are still, so now we're sideways. All right, I'll try that next time, guys. That'll be my branching out. Thank you, Emily. Yes, that's the catch.me. So you can still listen to this part, but you can go back and listen to the first 2 because this is only going to be helpful if you've got people coming to your, oh, it worked? See, but your comments are sideways, so I won't be able to read your comments without going like this. So let's just do it this way. You guys can see the my oil shelf. This is my kitchen. So for those of you who are, all right, we'll try it. You guys are, see, you're helping me get out of my comfort zone. Let's see. We'll see what happens here with the comments. They're still going sideways. All right, we'll try it next time. All right, so guys, for those of you who've just joined, my name is Christy Collins. I'm a Young Living Diamond. Artichokes and olives, I'll try it next time, I promise. So we've done a scope series on inviting because I find that a lot of people struggle with inviting, and I think it's because there are skills around it, and there are certain steps that I take when I invite to fill a class that I think people skip. And that's why you might be getting a yes that's not really a yes, and then that person doesn't show up, or you have lots of invitations out there and then you don't actually know if anyone's coming or not. So go back and watch the first 2 scopes to hear all of the steps that I do before I even pick up the phone to invite someone, and then exactly what I say when I do invite somebody. Okay, so how many of you guys want to hear what I'm going to do in the next week to make sure that all of the 6 lovely ladies who have RSVP'd yes for my beauty school will actually show up that night. Show me with some hearts if that would be helpful for you guys. Awesome. Well, let me ask you guys this first. What do you guys do once you've filled a class? What are the steps that you take to ensure that those folks show up? Because it's helpful for you, but it's very helpful for them to actually come to the class. So what do you guys do to ensure that, sorry, I'm trying to balance this with one hand. What do you guys do to ensure that people will actually show up? Do you guys have tips or strategies that work? Follow up with phone calls, follow up with text, reminder a few days before, follow up. Yep. Great. Yep. You send contact details, follow up. So excited to see you. Yes. So how is that working for you guys? Those follow up emails and texts and things. Do those work 100% of the time for you guys? Naomi, you can catch it on the part 2 on catch.me. So how's that working? You guys find that those follow-up calls definitely get people to show up? Most of the time, 50-50. Yes. Oily Bunch says nope. Okay. So here's what I find. The follow-up is crucial, and you need to do phone calls, you need to do emails, all of that, okay? The preparation for your event doesn't end once people say yes. In fact, that's just like stage 1. But again, like I realize sometimes I do things a little differently. With the invitations, when you were on this first part of the scopes, you heard that I very intentionally invited people, and I told them exactly why I hand selected them for that class. And so when it comes to the reminders, and when it comes to what I do to help them get excited about the class, that is personalized as well. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I have a strategy all laid out. If you're coming to my beauty school next week, don't listen. Elizabeth, if you're on here, don't listen. Danielle, if you're on here, don't listen. It's going to wreck the whole surprise, okay? So don't listen. You can just experience it when you get this. Okay, so there are 2 things that you need to do to ensure people actually show up. Once they've said yes, you know they're interested, but 2 things will get in your way of them whether they come or not. Number 1, if someone doesn't think that you're expecting them and that it's really like that it would make you sad, or that it will matter if they don't show up, then if they get tired that night, or if they, something comes up, they'll be like, oh, you'll get that call. Actually, you won't get a call. You'll get an email, right? Or a Facebook message or a text saying, oh, something came up, I can't come, but I'll come to the next one, right? How many of you guys have had that happen to you, that last minute, oh, I'll just come to the next one, something came up, right? This is why we said in scope number 1, you do not want to invite via Facebook, mass email, stuff like that, because if people think that there are lots of other people that are just going to be coming, or that 100 people, all of your closest Facebook friends have been invited, then if they say yes and then they just decide not to come, they don't think it's a big deal because they think that there are 100 other people that were invited. Of course you have plenty of people to come. If you've hand selected them, like with my beauty school, I let each of these ladies know I have 6 spots. I only run this class once a quarter. This is a very special invitation and I'm blessing you with it. They know that I'm not inviting other people. They know that spot is theirs, okay? I have to remind them of that though, as I'm going through this next week, as the event gets closer, and we'll talk about that. So they have to know that it's really important to me and for them that they show up. 1, because this class is not going to happen again tomorrow. Number 2, because they know that they are a special select group of people who gets to come. The second thing that people will use as an excuse not to come is if something else becomes more important to them. Right? So they get the invitation, they think, oh, beauty school, that sounds great. I'd love to come. Yes, sign me up. And then something else pops up. Now, this could be that they're too tired and they want to go to sleep. This could be that, I don't know, some friend pops in from out of town. This could be a myriad of things that comes up, whatever it is, and they could decide that it's more important than the beauty school. So I have to, in the next week, get them so pumped up, so excited, like chomping at the bit for this class, that nothing is going to keep them from this class, right? Have you guys ever had an event like that where you're like, I don't care if I'm tired, I don't care if like, you know, I've had a bad day, I don't care who comes into town, I am going to that event. Have you guys ever had a class like that, or an event or a concert or anything where you would definitely go no matter what? That's what you have to create with your class. So here's what I'm gonna do. First of all, I have to check my broccoli. I think my broccoli's done. Ooh, yes, it's done. Okay. So what I'm going to do is today, now that my class is filled, I'm going to be sending out an email. The email is going to be confirming all of the details with the class. It's going to be reminding them that there are only 6 people that are coming, that they've been hand chosen, that this is a really special deal. I have already talked to all the other ladies about who is coming and how amazing all these women are, and I will emphasize that in the email. Here's what I'm going to do though to make them really start getting excited. I'm going to have pictures of a few bottles of oil. I'm going to have rose oil. I'm going to probably have neroli. I'm going to have jasmine, and I might have like geranium, or I might have frankincense. And I'm going to line those up and take a picture, and I'm going to say to all these ladies in the email, which 2 of these oils would you love to put in your special take-home product that you're going to make at beauty school? Here, I'm going to turn this way. There we go. So I'm going to have them, I mean, who's not going to come to a class if they know they could put rose oil in something, right? How many of you guys, can you come? You want to fly to Boston? We'll put another seat at the table for you, sure. Like, how many of you guys would come to an event if you know, most people haven't even smelled rose oil. Most people don't have a product with rose oil in it, right? So if they get to pick between rose, jasmine, neroli, like these really expensive, really luxurious oils, and they know they're going to go home with something, how many of you guys would want to come to that class, right? Just to be in the room with Rose. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm gonna do to lure them into the beautifulness that is beauty school. Okay, so the second thing, yes, Bethany, you're welcome to. You're welcome to come next time. So the second thing I'm going to do is and they don't have to be expensive, you know, it doesn't have to be expensive. Beauty school is a smaller class, and I really want, like, my goal is really to pamper these ladies like crazy, and they know that. So that is something I do. For an intro class, you can just send out other oils and say, we're going to be making a special little thing to take home. Which of these oils calls to you? You know, you just tailor it to the event that you're doing. Could be just lemon and peppermint, you know, it doesn't have to be fancy. Okay, so that's my first email that's going out today. The next email will go out Tuesday. I'm going to send an email to these ladies again, and I'm going to ask them a quick quiz, and I'm going to say, just a quick question for you. What is your favorite flower, and what is your favorite color flower? Okay, so I'm going to ask them to reply back just with their favorite flower and, you know, what's the favorite color of flower that they adore the most. And I'll say something like, you know, the surprise will be revealed on Saturday. Okay? What will I do with that info? First of all, I love that email because it's short and sweet. They literally can type back 2 words. You know, mine would be hydrangeas, you know, white. You know, so what will I do with that? Well, my beauty school setup has flowers on the table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to then go to the flower store, probably Thursday, with that information, and I'm going to hand select either, if they don't have the kind of flower they like, I'll select a flower of that color that they love. Each of them is going to have their own specific flower arrangement. Like one flower, I'm not talking expensive or fancy, like one rose or one hydrangea or one peony, at their seat. So when they show up for beauty school, they will have a customized, hey hen, a customized seat. Now, how do I help to drive the excitement around that? Well, I'm going to set the table the day before. So my class is on Saturday. So I'm going to set the beauty school table on Friday. I'm going to set it up with my placemats, with my trays, with my spoons, with the mirrors, with the flowers. And I'm going to take a picture of that table setting, and I'm going to email it to all of the ladies on Friday night, and I'm going to say, can you guess which seat is yours? Why do you think I'm going to do that? Why do you guess I would send a picture of the table and say, guess which seat is yours? I'll say, no place cards needed. Each of you will know exactly where you're sitting. Yes, excitement. Excitement. Who's not going to want to come when they see this table? I tell you, it's beautiful. The table is beautiful. They feel special. Yes. They don't want to miss out. Who could turn it down? They feel wanted. Yes. And exactly. Catchy 99 to confirm they're coming, right? Who's going to call at the last minute and tell me, sorry, I can't come? They have a flower there. They have a spot. Like, they're there at the table. I'm thinking of them. They know they're expected. And like, again, who's not going to want to come? So then the day of, I will follow up with a phone call, just confirming where I live. I will follow up with an excited phone call, how excited I am to see them. I'm going to, just reiterate where to park. I'm going to reiterate what time we're starting, because this is a very, very quick class, and I don't have time for people to show up late. So we're going to really be clear on what time to come and how the class works. So with those things in place, yes, I'll periscope the table setting, sure. So with those things in place, I'm like 99% sure that everyone will show up. I'm betting that with those things in place, the only reason someone would cancel is a true family emergency. And here's the reason why I have 6 people coming, because if one person cancels, I always leave room for one last minute real life emergency cancellation. That would be great, because then I'll get to sit down at the table instead of pulling a seat up kind of on the side. 5 will still work beautifully. However, 6 is great, and that's my goal. So do you guys, essentially yours, that's just one part of my oil stash. I should show you guys around my house sometime. You would crack up at how many oils are around here. So no, Hen, you can't have chocolate chips. We have broccoli. They're trying to, you guys are taking advantage of periscopes. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. And so you guys can take that and tailor it however you want to any of your events. I do different things for different events, but the goal is either number 1, to let them know I am expecting them. And number 2, that it's going to be amazing and they do not want to cancel. That they need to do what they need to do to get enough energy, to be able to get there on time, and all of that. If I had somebody who I knew had been wishy-washy in the past and who maybe they said they were coming to an event, but they didn't come to an event, and then they said they were coming to the next one, then they didn't come to the next one. How I handle that situation is I will email them and call them a few days before and ask them to bring something. So I will say, you know what, I forgot to get X, and I can't get out to the store. Could you bring some sparkling water with you when you come? I give them a job, and I give them something that they're responsible for, because most people will show up if they have a role to play, versus just showing up as a participant. Do I handpick every event? What do you mean by handpicking? I do this kind of stuff for all of my events. It may not be flowers, because that may not really make sense. Hey, Hen. You know what, guys? I'm hearing from the crew here that it's time. It's time to get off. I want you guys to go away and do a little bit of your homework first. Think about a 101, an introductory class, okay? Think about what you can apply, how you could apply these principles to a 101 class, okay? You think about it first, brainstorm it, talk with people on your team about it, see what you can do using the principles I shared, okay? Part of this business is figuring out, like, how do I apply it specifically to my event, my life, my business, okay? I don't charge for beauty schools. Right now, my income can absorb that without a problem. If I were a new builder and I were starting out and my income was smaller, I would certainly charge for a beauty school. And you just figure out what your supplies cost and just charge so that you can cover your costs for your supplies. Henry, do you have anything to say? No? Okay. All right. If this was helpful for you guys, please share it on Periscope so that other people can hear this, because, we got to get events filled. If you're going to go to all the time and the effort of doing an event, you want people to show up, and you don't want people to miss the events, because, they're really helpful. We're changing lives. The stuff that we are sharing with people is so important. We don't want people missing out on that, okay? So everybody have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we'll be back next week and with some more things to share. All right, guys. How do you invite followers? You can swipe from left to right on an iPhone and share it, or you can swipe up on an Android and share it that way. All right, Evan says goodbye, Henry says goodbye. We're gonna go eat our broccoli now. Have a great weekend, everybody.